Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and as always told, I had a voice radio. So today, we are completing the set. We are looking at what I believe, at least, is the final Rotom, at least the final Rotom of this set, with the same ability. It is a Psychic-type Rotom that is going to be coming out in Sun and Moon, probably 6 in the UK, Europe, US, etc. That's our May set. And it is a reprint of the Lightning-type Rotom, but that is a very nice thing indeed. Now, the fact that it's no longer a Lightning Pokemon does mean that you lose Ether Paradise Conservation Area, which is a little bit annoying, and it does mean you lose Electrode. But then again, nobody's playing Ether Paradise Conservation Area anyway, and Electrode is a good source of energy acceleration, which would probably be an awful lot more useful if this was a deck that was going to play energy, but it's not. So who cares? Being a Psychic Pokemon doesn't really mean you gain anything relevant. And in terms of Psychic partners, you could be like, whoa, now I'm playing a Psychic deck, let's go combine it with Garbodor. Except you're not playing Psychic Energy. So it's not like now that you're playing a Psychic Pokemon, all of a sudden you've got a Psychic deck building up. There is no Psychic deck, just one Psychic attacking for free Pokemon. Similarly, Dimension Valley is irrelevant because you're attacking for free anyway. But what is amazing about being a Psychic Pokemon is that you're hitting weakness on Buzzwole. Buzzwole is big right now, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't really appear to be going anywhere because Zoroark's huge and amazing, and Buzzwole is really good against Zoroark. Ergo, Buzzwole should continue to see a fair amount of play. We also see that you're hitting weakness against Espeon and against the upcoming Naganadel GX, which I think could be pretty gosh darn good as well. I'll pop a link to that one in the description. So the point is that being a Psychic Pokemon, at least in terms of the weakness that you're hitting, is much, much better. And I like this because as it stood, we weren't getting a Psychic-type Rotom, and that was stressing me out. Both Wash and Frost Rotom are water types. I suggested they should make one of them a lightning type so that they could make regular Rotom a psychic type, have the most number of types possible. Well, I got a little bit sad when regular Rotom was lightning type, but now this is even better because we've got a lightning type Rotom and we've got a psychic type Rotom, and with the attack it might be the best of the Rotom, and that's actually really quite funky. Now, we do need to start with the ability here. The ability is incredibly important, and just like all the other Rotom, it's got the ability whereby if you've got 9 or more tool cards in your discard pile, you do not pay for this Pokemon's attacks. It attacks for free, but only if you've got 9 or more tools in your discard pile. Now, when I started talking about this, some people did start mentioning Garbodor, but I've said it before, I'll say it again. You've got a single prize basic Pokemon that attacks for 0 energy that can KO a stage 1 Garbodor that attacks for 1 energy. I don't care if Garbodor's one-hit KOing you, because they're a stage 1 for 1 energy, you're a basic for 0 energy. That sounds A-OK to me, ladies and gentlemen. It's a really good ability. And the theory here is quite simple. You get 9 or more tools in the discard, then you've got a suite of Rotoms from which to choose, and you get all of the options. We'll get to it in a minute, but we're talking about Rotom in a Rotom deck here. If you have to pay the energy cost for this Rotom, it's not good. It's way too expensive. Do not worry your pretty little head about it. But in terms of the Rotom as a whole, Lightning was one of the best, and the attack on Lightning Rotom is awesome. 120 damage, this Pokemon cannot attack during your following turn. Now, you've got a low HP here. There is a very good chance you're being KO'd anyway. And if you don't get KO'd, well then play something like a Guzma, or attach an energy so that you can retreat to another Rotom. It's not the end of the world. It's got a retreat cost of 1. We have cards like Guzma. I'm sure you'll be absolutely fine. And the thing is that it's the numbers from this attack which are so gosh darn good. With weakness, you're hitting 240. Well, that's your KO on Buzzwole. And that's your KO on Espeon, and it's even a KO on Naganadel. They are, at least for the time being and in the foreseeable near future, they are the Pokemon on whom you are going to be wanting to get one-hit KOs that are weak to Psychic, and you're getting the one-hit KOs. So it's all good, ladies and gentlemen. It is all good, to be perfectly honest. Essentially, it takes the best pure attacker of the Rotoms, just in terms of just doing straight damage, and makes it two different types, lightning and psychic. As far as I'm concerned, this is a really good thing, it's a handy bonus, and we like it very, very much indeed. Now, like I've said, this is assuming you're attacking for free. This attack for free psychic energy, oh my goodness, it's hot garbage, don't go anywhere near it. But just as a basic single prize, zero energy attacker in a Rotom deck, this is a great attack. Now I keep talking about this Rotom deck. What we do is we play all the different Rotoms, but we play them with Gourgeist. And the theory with Gourgeist is very simple. Gourgeist has a really nice attack for a double colourless energy, so of course you could then just play double colourless energy as your only energy, and just play 4 of them, and then some special charge to recover them, and then you get to do 10 damage, but 40 more for each tool you discard attached to all of your Pokemon. So the first 2 or 3 attacks, the first few prizes are taken with Gourgeist. While you're doing that, you then get all of your tools in the discard pile, and then you just use whichever Rotom you feel like, and you're off and rolling, and life is good. And this Rotom as both Lightning and Psychic type really is the best. Now what does really suck is you hit 120, and as I've said in a bunch of videos, there's a whole bunch of Pokemon, think Volcanion for instance, think Registeel, that have 130 HP rather than 120. They will unfortunately survive this hit. But there are a couple of other Rotom which are really worth playing as well. You've got Mo Rotom, does 70 damage and you discard a special energy attached to the defending Pokemon. The other one I really like here is Frost Rotom, 10 damage plus 20 more for each energy your opponent has in play. Now this should be getting a one-hit KO on anything that's weak to water. So now you've got a really good water type, a really good lightning type, and you've got a really good psychic type. In terms of Mo Rotom, good news is you will be getting a one-hit KO on Lycanroc Midnight form, which is really the most relevant of the Grass-weak Pokemon at the moment. The bad news is you'll only be doing so if you have a choice band, and kind of the whole point of this deck is to get all of your tools in the discard as early as possible. There's a reason I didn't suggest Floatstone earlier to retreat. If you use a Rotom that can't attack the next turn, and it doesn't get KO'd. We're not expecting to have these tools ready to use in the mid to late game. The other one I kind of like is your Fan Rotom. It's got Tapu Koko's attack, 20 damage to all of your opponent's Pokemon, but essentially for free, and it still has free retreat, which is awesome, but it's not hitting anything for weakness, and you end up in this weird situation where on the one hand, you've got an attack which really is a good early game attack to spread damage, and then on the other hand, you've got a deck whereby, well, you can only really use this Rotom for free after you've had a few turns, which kind of sucks because then you don't want to be using a spread attack, you want to be using a big KO attack, and that is the annoying thing about Fan Rotom. Now, we're not going to go into huge details about this deck as a whole. This really is a video about the new Psychic-type Rotom, but I will in the not-too-distant future be making a video about this deck, Gourgeist with all the Rotom, where I really will dig into the deck as a whole and all the trainer cards, etc. you need to support it. Like I said, worth a mention in this video, but this really was about the Psychic Rotom. Now, in terms of a score, I'm giving this Psychic Rotom 4 Wassies, but with a giant asterisk next to it. You see, it's kind of either a 1 to 2 Wassie card, we don't give half Wassies, that would be barbaric, or it's a 4 Wassie card. In a Rotom deck, where you're attacking for free, this does a fair amount of damage and hits a great weakness while attacking for free. It's a phenomenal card. 4 Wassies. Maybe even higher. If you're not in a Rotom deck for free energy, this is garbage. Please don't play it. But I'm feeling in a generous mood, so I'm giving it 4 Wassies, and remember, that is in the context of a Rotom deck. But if you want to argue with this, or agree with me, or just say hello, or anything else at all, that's what the comment section is there for. Pop something down, go nuts! Be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. Please do also check out my video game channel, Wassy Plays. We post video game content. I think it's pretty good. And if you want to support the channel, get some bonus pods and so on, you can do so by going to patreon.com/PTCGRadio. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.